Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm just doing a quick video on this old Knights 11. So this Knights 11 is made from a company called Michigan Armament Incorporated, MAI. They're a very unknown company. There's a very little information about this company. They started in about 1962 and they made guns until about 1982. Then they went and joined the Kimber Custom Shop. So these were like Kimbers before Kimbers, so when they were actually pretty well built. This has billet machined internals from slide and cylinder. It looks like Heine sights, Smith Alexander Magwell. I think he made that slide stop too. This gun is also ambi. I'm pretty sure this gun was probably used in a competition, because when I opened it up, it looked like it was pretty used, like it was shot quite a bit. And the sights were pretty prevalent in the 80s competition scene when this gun would have came out. So let's talk about this gun. Why is it unknown? Simply because the company didn't do a lot of advertising, so nobody ever really knew about the company. So the guy who ran the company was just real old school, and he never advertised, and nobody ever figured out about the company unless they were in the shooting scene, like competition shooting. There was a couple people who shot these guns and did it pretty well. There was like 3 or 4 champions that won competitions shooting these. Masadi Ayub said these were really well built guns, but didn't know enough information to talk about the company in his magazine American Handgunner. So there isn't, like I said, there isn't too much information out about these guns, but they were pretty well made. We'll get you a close up here. They were pretty well made guns from what I have seen in my experience. Some of the early guns had Essex frames, and some of them had Caspian frames. I believe this is a Caspian frame because this was made in the 80s. The Essex frames will be cast frames. Now there was only 2 or 3 versions of these guns that I know of, which was, there was a combat handgun that they made, and then the survivalist, which the survivalist you can't really even find any of them. I found maybe 1 reference to this gun on the internet and 1 sold. Now the thing is, if you ever find these guns, they don't sell for a whole lot of money. They're not really expensive guns, but they're really well made. And when I seen it, I couldn't skip out on a semi-custom gun for, not a lot of money. It's just crazy. These guns are highly underrated. But what leads me to believe this was probably a competition gun. It has extended slide release, extended magazine release, a magwell, and what would have been competition sights in the 80s, and ambi safety. So, and I also believe this gun was probably a full custom gun because they didn't do 2-tone guns. This wasn't really common for them. They had like I said, the combat handgun that looked kind of like a Packmeyer Combat Special, because they made it actually before he did, and inspired the Combat Special. And a lot of people actually did talk about these guns and say these were really cool guns and really well made, but just not a lot of information was out there. They were built in Michigan, and then they moved to California in the 80s, if you can see. Elsinore, California. So that's really all there is information wise on this company. There isn't a whole lot. These are really well made guns, and they're really cool, and I think more people should know about them. It's what I would equate these to is the Olympic Arms or AMT of the 80s. So pretty decently well made when they were hand built and hand fitted guns. They had a couple little issues here and there, just machining marks on some of the stuff, but you're talking about archaic gunsmithing of the 1911. Gunsmithing of the 1911 wasn't really, it was around in between the 20s and 30s, but that was all made to order guns. This company was one of the first companies that offered custom 1911s off the shelf. So what I mean by that is you could order these and have it in 2 weeks, where you would order it from Colt and you might get a gun in 1 to 2 years. So these guys were one of the first of the kind before Ed Brown and some of the other well-known shops. And these guys really paved the way for custom 1911s, and a lot of things they did was very influential, but they really never caught on because they never advertised. So if you learn a fact of this company is, if you ever make something cool, advertise it, because that will be your downfall. And if you like this content, like and subscribe. Let me know if you like this gun. It's pretty cool and it shoots awesome. Such a cool gun. Let me know if you like it, guys.